Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so any doubts in cluster analysis? There has been some people emailed me their doubts personally, so people have some confusion about, not confusion, but some doubts about k-means and k-modes and k-median, etc. So technically, in all these, any distance function can be used. So the theory of k-means algorithm doesn't say that you have to use Euclidean distance. You can use any distance function. But if you use Euclidean distance function, then you are going to get most homogeneous clusters. Okay. Got it what I'm trying to say? Because you have studied in BSc first year maybe that mean is, mean gives you least mean squared deviation. So when you compute deviation from mean, it is smallest when you consider squared deviation, correct? So by that logic, in k-means, if you use Euclidean distance, then you will get the most homogeneous clusters, whereas in k-median, if you use Manhattan distance, you will get most homogeneous clusters. Okay, but other than that, there is no restriction. You can use Manhattan distance for k-means, or you can use Euclidean distance for k-median. That is fine. In fact, you can use any binary distance also. That is also fine. But most of the softwares for k-means will use Euclidean, because as I said, that will give you most homogeneous clusters. And k-modes is generally used only when you have categorical data, and in categorical data you can use k-median only if your categories are ordinal. Okay, in fact the problem is for multivariate data, defining median itself is a problem. Okay, I don't know whether you have imagined this, but for multivariate data, defining median is itself a problem. What is your definition of median in general for univariate setup? How do you define something as a median?
Ma'am, point X is said to be a median of a data set. If the 50% of the observations are less than that point, then the rest 50% are above that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So now let me share my screen and let me draw a picture. Okay, so suppose I have this bivariate data. Okay, so how many points I have? 8 points, right? Now you don't have a concept of greater or less in bivariate technically, so I don't know where I can draw a median, and secondly it won't be a point, it could be a line. So maybe I can have this line as a median, because it's dividing everything into two parts, or I can have some other line. So for example, how can I have 4 points? Yeah, for example, I can draw this line, assuming this is a straight line. This can still be called as median because 4 points are to this side, 4 points are for this side, etc. Okay, so defining quartiles or quantiles in multivariate setup is a big issue. It's not that simple, and hence k median is not that easy. And hence it is not common, because you have a group. Okay, you have a cluster and you have these multivariate observations. So how do you define their median? Okay, mean is simple. Mode also you can do component wise, that is okay, but median generally component wise is not done. Yes, you can go for component wise median and carry out k-median analysis, but this is one of the reason why k-median is not very commonly used. Okay, because median in multivariate setup is a pretty involved concept. Is it okay? Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and again one more point that I want to highlight is, if you have ordinal categories, then only you can define median, even in univariate setup. Okay, so for example, if you have gender, male, female, and let's say, okay, adult male, adult female, and children, if you consider these three categories, then in such data you can't define median, because these categories are not ordered. So you don't know whether this is smaller than this or this is larger than this. Is it okay? So even in the univariate setup, if you decide that okay, you want to go for k median, you cannot go unless the categories are ordinal. Okay, mode of course you can do, but for nominal categories you cannot define median. For nominal categories as well as for ordinal categories you cannot define mean. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so any other doubts in the cluster analysis part? I had studied one, I had shared one case study also in the last week, I mean just before the exam. Any doubts in the case study?
Actually, ma'am, I have one doubt. That the thing is that, ma'am, why only in the case of median, or sorry, why only in the case of ordinal data set or data, we will be considering K mode. Can you just explain that point once
No,
again?
sorry, can you repeat?
And why only in the case of ordinal data set, you are suggesting to use the K mode? Can
No, no, no.
you?
Mode can be used even for nominal.
Okay.
Mode can be used even for nominal. Mode doesn't have an issue. Median cannot be defined unless your categories are
Yes. Yes.
ordered.
Yes.
Any other doubt? Anyone else? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.